Hi, my name is Jay with Kick Foosball Tables. First off, I'd like to welcome you to the Kick family. Today I'll be showing you how to properly assemble your 55-inch Majesty foosball table. I hope this instructional video was helpful. With no further delay, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and open your box and take a look at your contents. Then, you're going to lay each piece out onto your floor individually. If you are assembling your foosball table on a hard surface, I do recommend you lay on a large blanket or a large piece of cardboard. That way you don't damage your foosball table during the assembly process. Next, we're going to match each part to what's inside your instruction manual. Once you've matched each part to what's inside your instruction manual, if you notice any missing or damaged parts, please contact Kick customer support with pictures of your shipping label, the box itself, and the damaged part. Our contact information will be listed at the end of this video. For step 1 of this assembly, we'll be sliding the playing field P3 into both of the grooves that you see here on both side panels P1. Now what you want to make sure is that the ball entry hole is faced down and closest to the floor, and that the groove that you see here faces inwards towards the playing field. Go ahead and grab your playing field, place it into that groove, clip up side panel, and it should just lay on top of the assembly. For step 2 of this assembly, we'll be attaching our support braces P7 and our support rods P13 using our H4 washer and our H3 lock nut. This part's pretty simple. You will notice that there are 3 holes here on their side panel. You just want to go ahead and line up your support brace alongside of one of those holes. Insert your support rod into both holes on the side panel, making sure that your support rod slides into the groove on the support brace. Next, you want to go ahead and insert your lock nut and washer into the side of the side panel. And then secure using the Allen wrench that was provided. For step 3 of this assembly, we'll be attaching our end panels P2 to both side panels P1 using our H6 washer and our H2 bolt. When attaching your end panel to both side panels, you just want to make sure that the goalie hole is faced downwards closest to the floor, that the groove that you see here faces inwards towards the playing field. Now if your end panel is too tight of a fit between both side panels, just go ahead and unscrew your support brace a couple notches just to give you some wiggle room to fit your end panel. Go ahead and line up both the holes on your end panel to both the holes on your side panel, making sure that the playing field fits on top of the groove here on the end panel. Go ahead and insert your H2 bolt and your H6 washer. And then secure using the Allen wrench that was provided. For step 4, we'll be securing our playing field to the bottom of the assembly using our H7 screws. Now you will notice that there are 16 pre-drilled holes on all 4 sides of your table. Just want to go ahead and insert your H7 screw into one of those holes and tighten. For step 5 of this assembly, we'll be attaching our straight leg P4A and P4B and our angled legs P5A and P5B to our table using our handle nuts P12, our H1 bolt, and our H5 washers. One way to determine that you are adding the correct leg to the correct side of the table is you want to make sure that the bolt pattern that you see here faces outwards towards the other side panel. You also want to make sure that both the holes on your leg line up with both the holes on the side panel properly. You want to go ahead and insert your H12 handle bolt and your H5 washer into the top hole on the back side of your side panel. Go ahead and insert your H1 bolt and your H5 washer into the bottom hole of the side panel. Then you want to secure using the Allen wrench that was provided. When attaching both of your angled legs, P5A and P5B, to your table, you just want to make sure again that the bolt pattern that you see here faces outwards towards your side panel. You also want to make sure that the angle on your leg faces outward towards the end panel. We'll be using both of these holes here to secure our leg to our side panel. You just want to line them both up to your side panel. Insert your H5 washer and your H12 handle bolt into the top hole of your side panel. Insert your H5 washer and your H1 bolt into the bottom hole of your side panel. I'm sure you noticed this third hole here on your angled leg. This is so that you can fold your table into an upright position. You just want to go ahead and unscrew your handle bolt on the back of your side panel, and then align the hole on the leg to the hole on the side panel. And go ahead and reinsert your handle bolt to secure your leg. For step 6, we'll be attaching both of our support braces P11 to the back of both of our straight legs using our H8 screws. If you have any wiggle room at all in your straight leg, just go ahead and push it all the way up so you can't push it anymore, and do the same thing to the other leg so that they're both even with one another. You will notice that there are 3 holes here in your support brace on both sides. Just go ahead and use one side of that support bracket and place it up against the side panel. You will not be utilizing the other 3 holes on the other side. Go ahead and insert your H8 screw. And tighten. For step 7, we'll be inserting our H11 nut into all 4 holes of your leg panels P6. This part's pretty simple. You just want to go ahead and line up the hole on the end of the nut to the hole on the end of the leg panel. For step 8, we'll be attaching all 3 of our leg panels to both of our straight legs and both of our rear angled legs. This part's pretty simple. You just want to go ahead and align the holes on your leg panel to both the holes on your leg. We'll be attaching our leg panels using our H2 bolt and our H6 washer. You want to go ahead and secure using the Allen wrench that was provided. After you completed step 8, we now move on to the next step in turning over our table. This is a 2-person job, so you need some assistance for this part of the assembly. What you want to make sure is that you don't rest the weight of the table on either of the legs. So you just want to make sure you turn over the table in one swift, full motion so that all the legs hit the ground at the same time. For step 9, we'll be attaching our ball entry cup P9A and our ball entry sockets P9B to our table using our H8 screw. This part's pretty simple. You just want to go to insert your ball entry socket into the inside hole of the ball entry hole. Then insert your ball entry cup and tightly fasten until the cup is aligned with the top of the table. Insert your H8 screw and tighten. For step 10, we'll be attaching our slide score P12 to our end panel using our H9 screw. This part's pretty simple. You just want to make sure that the numbers are faced inwards towards the playing field. Then you want to go line up your slide score to the goalie line. Then insert your H9 screw and tighten. For step 11, we'll be inserting our rod bushing C10A and C10B to our table. This part's pretty simple. You just want to go to insert your C10A rod bushing into the inside of your side panel. Then insert your C10 bushing. You want to go ahead and secure it using your A10 tool. After you completed step 10 and inserting all of your rod bushings, we can now move on to the next step, step 11, in inserting all the rods and attaching each player to each rod. The most important part of assembling your foosball table is making sure that all your rods and players are in the right position. So you want to carefully review the diagram located in the instruction manual prior to inserting your rods. What you want to make sure is that you add the correct amount of players per holes in the rod. You also want to make sure that there's a hole on the correct side of the table where the handles will later go. And before we insert our rods and attach each player to each rod, I'm going to show you an already assembled table and explain to you the differences between a one-man goalie versus a three-man goalie setup, and the difference between a counterbalanced min versus a uniform min. One-man goalie versus a three-man goalie setup. With this table, we have the option to have either a one-man goalie or a three-man goalie setup. Most beginners and some others prefer a three-man goalie setup because there's more defense around the goal, making it harder to score and giving the user more control over the field. While some others prefer a more fast-paced one-man goalie setup. It's completely up to you. If you plan on going with the one-man goalie setup instead of having the other two outer men on the goalie rod, you'll replace them with the 4 black stop rings. You can optionally place the white field lining tape on both sides of the table to prevent any dead spots, if any at all. Be careful once you lay the tape down. It's hard to pick back up without leaving any smudges. Next, place the 4 green triangle corner ramps you received on all 4 corners of your table. These ramps will only work with the one-man goalie setup. They will not work with the three-man goalie setup. Next, secure your ramps with the 4 screws that were provided and cover the holes with the 4 green plugs. Counterbalance min versus uniform min. With your table, you receive 2 full sets of different style of foosball min. 1 set of uniform hard plastic min, and 1 set of ABS counterbalance min. The uniform min are the foosball min used mostly by beginners. If you place the players on the rod in a horizontal position, they'll just fall back down into a vertical position. Or if you free spin the rods, they'll just continue on spinning. Whereas their more experienced or regular players prefer the counterbalance min. Counterbalance players mean that there's a weight in the head equal to the weight of the toe. So unlike the uniform min, they will not fall back down into a vertical position if left in a horizontal position or in any other position. They also don't keep spinning like the uniform min. This lets you control the user and position the players and min to your liking or technique. When attaching your players, you want to note that there's a bumper, a washer. Then you want to add the correct amount of players per holes in the rod. Add another washer, another bumper. Then you want to complete by sliding through the second hole. we will be securing our players with our C6 bolt and our C7 nut. So we'll go ahead and turn the player around and line up the hole with the chest of the player. Insert your C6 bolt. Turn the player around. Insert your C7 nut into the back of the player. And secure your player. For step 13, we'll be attaching our handles P8 and rubber end caps P9 to the other end of our rod. This part's pretty simple. You just want to go ahead and line up your handle, the hole in the handle, to the hole in the rod. Insert your H10 bolt and secure. One quick note, these handles are really high quality. Most other companies use a really cheap rubber slide-on handles. Also, these rods are semi-hollow, so they are durable enough to rough play, yet light enough to let the player have full control over the rod. Next, go ahead and put the rubber end cap on the other end of the rod. Congratulations on completing your 55-inch Majesty foosball table. I hope this instructional video was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please visit us at www.kickfoosballtables.com or email us at support@kickfoosballtables.com.